Hi, everybody. My name is Marissa Miller, and I am the founder of the National Trans Visibility March, where we had our inaugural event in Washington, D.C. in 2019, where we had a little bit over 5,700 people in Freedom Plaza. Well, guess what? We are back again. We will be gathering in Orlando this year, but before we get to Orlando, we're going to hit Sacramento, we're going to hit Chicago, we're going to hit Atlanta, and we're going to hit New York. Then we're going to come back to Orlando on Thursday, where we're going to have our empowerment services, where we're going to lift up those people that are important to us, that are in our faith-based community. And then we're going to turn around on Friday and start with our Torch Award. You all remember our Torch Award is where we honor those people that have been doing the work in the community. Last year, we were able to honor Savannah Wanzer and some other wonderful people. This year, we're excited about who you're going to nominate for us to honor this year. And then we'll kick off with the march on that particular Saturday. So we're extremely excited about you joining us. Remember, we'll start on that week of the march, October 4th, and we'll go all the way through the week visiting those particular cities. Sacramento will have events, Atlanta will have events, New York will have events, Chicago will have events, and then we'll all meet back in Orlando on Thursday for the empowerment service. And so we're so excited about that. And then we're so excited about celebrating people at our Torch Awards on that Friday, and then getting up that Saturday morning and beating the pavement while we march, while we demand for justice, while we demand for equitable opportunities for trans and non-binary people. We will no longer leave lives behind. No lives left behind. This is the safety plan. I love you guys, and I will see you in Atlanta. I will see you in Orlando.
Hi, my name is Josh Bell, and I'm the Executive Director of One Orlando Alliance. We are so excited to be the local host organization for the National Transgender Visibility March in 2021. We're looking forward to welcoming you to Orlando, the City Beautiful. Our alliance is a coalition of over 40 organizations serving the LGBTQ+ community, and we know the importance of visibility of our transgender and gender non-binary communities. We want you to feel safe here, we want you to feel supported here, and we're doing a ton of work to get ready for you to come visit us and to get to be your full self here in this city, in this place. It's going to be an amazing week, and as you know, the schedule is going to be posted on the nationaltransmarch.com website, and so you can check there as we flesh out our schedule. But Monday night, October 4th, we'll start off with a kickoff service, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, there will be events in our satellite cities. We are so excited to be partnering with cities across the country, including Atlanta, Chicago, New York, and Sacramento. We're so excited to know that our community is going to gather in all of these places, and we'll be geographically distant, but we'll be together in spirit. And so there will be events that are simulcast from various locations throughout the course of the week, and you can look at our website to find out more information. Thursday night is the empowerment service here in Orlando that's going to be led by Joy Metropolitan Community Church. It's an inclusive opportunity for us to come together with those of us who have a faith background and be reminded that we are empowered to be our full selves. Friday night is the Torch Awards, where we get to recognize members of our community that have made a difference, that are leading the charge. And so if you have someone who is someone that you want to recognize as part of that, to nominate them, you can go to our website and fill out the appropriate information. And then of course, Friday, October 9th is our march. We'll start with a rally, and then we'll march the parade route actually of the Orlando Pride Parade. We deliberately scheduled this on the same weekend as Orlando Pride because we believe these are two amazing organizations and amazing events, and together we can amplify one another's message. So the march will be part of the Orlando Pride festivities. So not only will you be able to participate in the significance of the Transgender Visibility March, you'll also get to participate in the amazing fun and excitement and representation that is part of Come Out with Pride, Orlando's Pride Parade. So those are just a few of the things that we have in store for you. We are so looking forward to you coming and joining to be with us. Check our website for more information, and we'll see you in October.
Hi, my name is Tatiana Quiroga, and my pronouns are she, ella. I'm the Executive Director for Come Out with Pride. Orlando Pride is thrilled to be a partnering organization for the National Trans Visibility March. We are excited to have folks join us from all across the country for our Pride celebration, where everyone is welcome to celebrate as their authentic selves. See you in October.
Hello, my name is Caleb Barton. I use he, she, and they pronouns, and I am the National Strategy Director for the National Trans Visibility March. Over the past 20 years, opioid-related deaths have quadrupled, with approximately 91 people dying every day from overdosing. While opioid has become a public health concern for all Americans, it is especially for members of the LGBTQ+ community. Due to greater prevalence of discrimination and violence that members of the LGBTQ+ community face, they are more likely to use alcohol and drugs to cope with stress. Data from the 2018 National Survey on Drug Use and Health shows that 9% of all LGBTQ+ adults ages 18 years or older reported misuse of prescription opioids or heroin use, compared to 3.8% of heterosexual cisgender adults. While there is growing knowledge and awareness about the increasing prevalence of crystal meth within the LGBTQ+ community, what isn't known is the research that shows that crystal meth, or TINA, often referred in our community, often stems from the misuse of prescription opioids. By sharing these stories of those affected by opioids and other drug use, Our People, Our Purpose campaign hopes to educate and empower our community to create space where people seek a safe space to be able to be seen, to be heard, to share their lived experiences and effect positive change. These are some of those stories.
When I think of my people and my purpose, I think of my community, and I think of us all wanting the best for each and every one of us in our community. And I think of us wanting the most positive outcome for every single person that is a part of our community. Thank you.
Hello, it's Jason Zhu. What it means to me is that it's our journey, the internal journey within ourselves to do the work. Whether it be recovery or harm reduction, just to get to a place of healing and processing. But we can't just do it on words alone. So we have to use our hands, meaning the work that we have to put into it. And it's not just a solo journey, it's with our community where we break through barriers and break through stigma to create a whole community of healing so that we know that we're no longer losing anyone. Let's heal together.
Hello, my name is Monroe Alice, community activist, spiritual advisor, and connecting conversationalist. When I hear the words, our people, our purpose, that simply means to me, when you're happy, I'm happy. When you cry, I cry, and what you struggle with, I struggle with, and that together we can get through anything.
The first National Trans Visibility March took place on September 28, 2019 in Washington, D.C. With over 5,300 attendees, this historic event brought together both transgender individuals and allies from all over the United States.
We are tired of fighting for our country on foreign soil and then being told that we are no longer fit to serve. We are tired of our murders going without any justice and our murderers out there free. We want to be free, and that's why we are here.
I want you to repeat after me. I am here. I am here. Yes, ma'am.
We need to take back our narrative. We are not victims. We are not statistics. We are not tragedies. We are waiting to thrive, and this is our best year yet, because we aren't here simply to be visible. We are here to be victorious. So when we move forward today, let us press forward with purpose. Let us press forward with passion, and let us know that the fight has just begun.
Good evening. My name is Justine Ingram. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am one of the hosts for the National Trans Visibility March, the satellite location that will be happening here in Atlanta. So our host organization for the Satellite March will be the I Am Human Foundation. So I Am Human is the Black, trans, and queer-led organization that is doing very great work here in Atlanta. So if you need a little bit more information about the I Am Human Foundation, be sure to visit them at iamhumanfoundation.org. So our list of events will begin on October 7th. That is Thursday, October 7th, where we will be doing our I Am Human billboard unveiling. So this will be our opening event where we will be unveiling our latest trans visibility billboard here in Atlanta. So a little bit of backstory about that. Over the last few months, geared by the I Am Human Foundation, we have been seeing an uptick in trans visibility billboards on our major interstates and intersections. And so we want to, for this visibility weekend, we want to make sure that we are amplifying the transgender and gender nonconforming community and releasing our latest billboard. Our march will actually take place on Saturday, October 9th. We will be beginning that at 12 p.m. This year's march actually falls in line with our Atlanta Pride Festival. So this is one of our biggest festivals and biggest events where we get the greater LGBT community, as well as an influx of transgender and gender nonconforming people coming into the city to celebrate. So our march will be happening on those grounds on October 9th at 12 p.m. We are expecting a huge turnout and a lot of commitment from our volunteers as well as our community members. That evening, starting at 7 p.m., will be the I Am Human Awards Gala. So this gala will be kind of our closing for our march and for the Atlanta Pride Weekend. And what we will be doing is we will be amplifying the voices and the important work that the transgender and gender nonconforming community and our allies have been doing into Atlanta to improve the lives of our community. So we are super, super excited. If anybody has any questions or wants to volunteer or support us in our efforts here on the ground in Atlanta, be sure to reach out to me. So my name is Justine Ingram. My email address is justine.ingram@outlook.com. I can answer any questions that you may have and also get you connected to our other sponsors and leaders here, which will be Alejandro Santiago from the I Am Human Foundation, as well as Chanel Haley from Georgia Equality. Thank you.
Happy to announce that this October night, Sacramento California has the honor of being one of 7 host cities for the National Trans Visibility March.
We want everyone to join us in this important moment. But why Sacramento?
As the capital of California, Sacramento is a shining example of diversity and inclusion at the state of mind.
Sacramento is also home to the Sacramento LGBT Community Center, a nonprofit that's dedicated to uplifting the trans and gender nonconforming communities in the Central Valley and the Northern California areas.
And that's why the Sacramento LGBT Community Center, alongside other social justice organizations, will have the honor of celebrating and organizing the opening celebration for this year's Trans Visibility March on October 6th.
It'll be a fun, community-focused, in-person event that will showcase the talent and resilience of the trans community in Northern California.
En este octubre, ayúdanos a apoyar los derechos de las personas trans. Celébranos y ayúdanos a levantar visibilidad para las personas trans y de género no conforme.
For more information on how you can get involved or volunteer, visit us at saccenter.org and contact us at volunteers@saccenter.org.
For more information about the National Trans Visibility March, you can go to www.nationaltransmarch.com.
We are here.
We are proud.
We are community.
Y no podemos hacerlo sin ti.
So, this October, head out to Sacramento and be part of the National Trans Visibility March. We'll see you there.
Hello everyone, my name is Dee Dee Waters. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm here on today to talk to you all about the safety initiative that's going on with the Trans March. Now, the purpose behind this whole safety initiative is because far too often I deal with myself, right? I deal with a lot of murders and a lot of violence that takes place on trans bodies. A lot of times, far too often, we forget that there's more than just one type of violence that takes place on our bodies. And not only that, but when we talk about safety, there are other things that we have to include when we talk about safety. Not all of us are getting murdered. Not all of us are being victims of violent attacks. But all of us will one day have to go and see a healthcare professional, right? To be able to seek healthcare. What does safety look like whenever we go and see the doctor? What does safety look like when we go to receive treatment and or care? What does safety look like, right? So when we talk about safety, it's about what are the things that we can actually do. Far too often I have to tell people and remind myself even that whenever the weapon was put in someone's hand and they made a decision to go and cause bodily harm to someone, right? In a violent way, whether it's murder, whether or not it's just jumping on them and being violent and attacking them, whether or not it's verbal abuse, right? Or a verbal attack. Being mindful that we cannot stop them from doing that. But what we can do when we talk about safety, what we can do is we can talk about resources that are accessible for those who have been victims, right? Or also talk about housing so that those that could be victims, right? Or that are in places where they could become victims can actually not be on the streets and be homeless and be in housing. See, when we talk about safety, I encourage us to open up our minds and think outside of just the box or the norm of which far too often is murder and violent attacks on our bodies. I think that when we talk about safety, that it's important that we also look at the conversations in which they lead to, right? So when we talk about safety, what does safety look like in healthcare? Which is one of the discussions that we will be having. Not only the discussion around healthcare, but what does it look like for healthcare providers who are providing care and treatment to us? Not only that, but then as we go from there, we talk about accessible resources. What do accessible resources look like, right? I can't get certain things if I don't file a police report, or I can't get help if it wasn't a form of domestic violence. What does safety look like? I feel like when we talk about safety and we talk about protecting ourselves, that we forget about a lot of the things that come within that. So what does a self-defense class look like? Right? When we can't do it in person because of COVID. What does using mace or a taser look like? You know, did people know that far too often, whenever you carry a gun, that there's been so many incidents where a person was attacked and then the person who was attacking them turned around and ran from them, and upon running away, the person shot. And at that point in time, when they shot that person, they committed a crime, right? They committed a crime because the person who attacked them was fleeing the scene, right? But they didn't know that. So when we talk about safety and this initiative in safety, I think that it's important that we really talk about what safety looks like for our trans bodies, period. The conversations and the discussions in which we will talk about around healthcare, around policy, around accessible resources. Each one of these conversations, we're going to be bringing in specialists and people that are members of the community and community specialists that will be able to talk to us, explain things to us, talk to us about healthcare, talk to us about accessible resources, talk to us about policy. Do you know that it's still legal for someone to say that they murdered someone because they were trans, and they utilize this in a way of being the trans panic defense? There are so many ways that we can talk about safety, but we need to be the ones to do so. So I encourage that you all join us as we have these discussions. The dates will be provided for you on the website, and information about each of these discussions will be there as well. I encourage that you join us because your voice is a voice that is needed. I encourage that you join us because even as an ally, your ear is needed. I hope that within these discussions that you all will learn a lot. And I hope that not only about the learning part, I hope that this initiative turns into more than just a conversation in which we have. And that is realistically our goal. Far too often we talk about safety, and we always do it with the premises or around the premises of violent attacks, right? And we talk about it from murders. We need to be able to do more. We should open up our minds up, and we should be able to talk about this from our own perspectives. Me, myself, as a Black trans woman, my definition of safety will look different than yours. And hey, we're all here and we're all in this together. So I'd ask that you join us as we have these conversations, 4 conversations that'll be coming up each month, including this month. And that information again will be found on the website. Thank you all again. My name is Didi Waters. My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
Thank you, Didi, for sharing this great work. I can see many synergies with this work and the work that we are doing at TD Bank. It is my pleasure for me to join you today from New York City. My name is Stephen Garabell. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I coordinate our LGBTQ2+ and diverse segments business development efforts at TD Bank. At TD, we are on a journey to a more inclusive tomorrow. Even though today's event shapes the way we think about inclusion, I hope it will also serve as a springboard into action for us, both as individuals and organizations. After all, we know when it comes to making real, meaningful change, it's not just what you say that matters, it's also what you do. That's why I'd like to take a moment to highlight what TD has been up to, specifically our efforts to support the TGNC community. I'm proud to share that over the last 6 years, TD Bank has been working with Destination Tomorrow, the Bronx LGBTQ Community Center, to facilitate financial empowerment seminars to help build skills around budgeting, savings, and credit, and helping community members create a path towards homeownership. Most recently, TD was proud to announce an exciting partnership with the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce and Destination Tomorrow that will host a 4-month program called Own It, a TGNC entrepreneurial growth and development program. This incredible program will lead transgender entrepreneurs through 3 classes developed from the TD Bank Wow Zone. These sessions will even be facilitated by our very own TD financial educators, and the program culminating with a special business pitch event. Because we know that building relationships and providing unexpectedly human service is an important part of our successful business strategy, we're even extending that model to the participants by matching them with successful TGNC entrepreneurs as mentors and technical assistance providers for ongoing coaching and support for their business. Efforts like these across our footprint are why our theme for Pride 2021 is Forever Progressing. We acknowledge how far we've come, but also know how incredibly important it is to keep creating meaningful change and pushing forward. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Alvin Poon, who will discuss some other actions we are taking to be forever progressing for our company.
It's both my honor and pleasure to join you all virtually today from my home office in Orlando for this very special event to kick off the National Trans Visibility March. TD has a long-standing commitment to the LGBTQ2+ community, helping to drive change to create a more inclusive society. And as TD's retail market manager for the Greater Orlando region, I'm proud that TD has been a part of the fabric of the Orlando communities for years and reflects the brilliant diversity of Orlando's SoDo district, including through our physical store presence. This year, TD Bank was fortunate enough to work with a local artist, Christian Stanley, to paint a mural at our new SoDo store, which is situated a few blocks away from the Pulse nightclub, to show strong support for the LGBTQ2+ community. Like Orlando, Prismatic is colorful and vibrant. It is meant to signify Orlando's diversity while remembering those lost to the Pulse nightclub tragedy and the community's strength to grow together since then. It's our way of remembering and honoring the victims and survivors beyond the lapel pin many of our colleagues still wear today. I will never forget the devastation of that day, or the way local organizations and members of TD leadership joined together to respond to the needs of our colleagues, customers, and the community. From providing counselors in our stores for our colleagues and their families, donating funds and extending volunteer support to volunteer efforts with Orlando United Assistance Center, TD was able to help those impacted by the tragedy and help to make service and support available for the physical and emotional healing so many would need. TD Bank also partnered with Hang a Heart, an organization started by 3 young children who, after the tragic events at Pulse nightclub, hoped to heal some of the heartache by creating stuffed felt hearts to give out in the Orlando area. One of the most meaningful moments was when 380 plus TD colleagues from Maine to Florida came together at Universal Studios for over 3 hours and listened to the stories of the Pulse survivors as they created these hanging hearts. At the end of the day, we helped make close to 3,000 hearts with inspiring messages to encourage others and to let our community know that hate will never be tolerated in the hearts of TD employees. That still stands today. TD's commitment to driving positive progress for the LGBTQ2+ community and helping to build an inclusive future for all. We're a community-focused bank that prides itself on showing up, supporting local organizations like One Orlando Alliance, creating a safe and inclusive community and central to TD's values. And we're proud to support One Orlando Alliance and its mission to unify and empower the LGBTQ2+ organizations in Central Florida. Together, we can continue to create meaningful change and help drive positive progress. Thank you.
My name is Alvin Poon from the Diversity and Inclusion team at TD. My pronouns are he, him, his. At TD, Forever Progressing means more than just a pride campaign. It's the way we showcase colleague, customer, and community stories all year long that look back at moments of social progress and acknowledge the challenges to inspire us all to keep the momentum going as we work to create meaningful, positive change for the LGBTQ2+ community. We want TD to be a place where colleagues feel they can bring their whole selves to work. We want them to feel proud to call TD home. Our culture of care is all about creating an environment that is fair, respectful, and supportive of all employees. A cornerstone of our inclusive culture is employee engagement and internal education and training through our LGBTQ2+ business resource groups. We have a transgender and gender non-binary advisory council at TD, made up of colleagues who provide counsel on ways that our organization can help support an inclusive environment for our trans and non-binary communities. TD Bank was proud to receive the top score of 100% on the Human Rights Campaign Corporate Equality Index for the 12th year in a row, and was honored as a 2021 Best Place to Work for LGBTQ Equality. In addition to our LGBTQ2+ Welcome Buddy onboarding program, which helps new LGBTQ2+ colleagues get oriented with TD and connect them with other community members, there are a number of other ways TD is working hard to create a positive work experience for our LGBTQ2+ colleagues. In 2016, we adopted all gender restrooms as a building design standard for new and renovated retail locations across North America. In 2020, we launched the capability for our colleagues to have the option to share their pronouns on their name tags and business cards. Our benefits coverage has included gender affirmation benefits coverage for our transgender employees since 2009, and we recently enhanced our family planning benefits, which include expanded fertility, adoption, and surrogacy coverages. In addition to supporting LGBTQ2+ colleagues, we also launched gender identity and expression training as required training for all colleagues across TD's North American footprint, to ensure all team members were provided with foundational knowledge on gender identity and expression. As we strive to continually enhance the employee experience, we're focused on diverse talent development, like the LGBTQ2+ virtual speed mentoring initiatives, and our Proud to Lead program that aims to develop visible LGBTQ2+ leaders to drive inclusion forward at TD. The LGBTQ2+ community is diverse, and experiences of all community members are not the same, especially for our underrepresented LGBTQ2+ communities, including transgender, gender non-binary, bisexual, queer, racialized, two-spirit, women, and community members living outside of large urban markets. While we have made progress as a society and at TD, the journey for inclusion for the LGBTQ2+ community continues, and we still have work to do. Internal colleague initiatives and external events like this one are our opportunity to listen, learn, and lean in to support what matters most to our colleagues, customers, and communities. Thank you for letting TD join you in creating a better, more inclusive tomorrow. Now let's go to our Orlando team.
Hello, my name is Zakia McKenzie, and I am the Executive Director and founder of Nations Foundation. I'm honored to be here today as a former host of the Torch Awards, and is very excited to announce that Nations will be sponsoring the awards this year. Also, remember that the Torch Awards nominations is on the website, and nominations are due by August 15th, 2021. We look forward to seeing you at the Torch Awards, and thank you so much.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is DeMark Hickson, and I'm the Executive Director of Us Helping Us People Into Living, and we are a proud sponsor of the National Trans Visibility March for the third straight year. Us Helping Us is a nonprofit in the greater Washington, D.C. area where we provide a wealth of medical, behavioral, and essential support services, but we're most proud of our recent workforce development program for transgender, non-binary, and other gender non-conforming youth who are at risk or have experienced homelessness. This program offers these TGNC youth with a position that is more than an outreach worker. These positions also pay a livable wage and come with a number of benefits, including health insurance and contributions to a 401k. But one of the other things is that our fellows will be a speaker this year during the march. So we hope to see everyone in Orlando on March the 9th because no lives will be left behind.
So many wanna know what's the life like. Seeing all the good life, they wanna know who was out on my side. Searching for his kisses, begging for my time. I don't really give it because it's all mine. Hide from the everyone in my business, always trying to run my business, trying to catch me slipping. God is my witness. No, I don't fall. All the love we're making and the risk we're taking, even if it doesn't. Privately, I'm feeling hard from the your private girl. No one knows. It's a glow. Everyone's best bet is our secret. We're private cause we want to. He's choosing and he chose to love me, boo-coo. We're private cause we want to. He's choosing and he chose to love me, boo-coo, yeah.